Okay, so we're here at Parsonage Retreat with Beltran, and he's come all the way from Spain to do an amazing Hemi-Sync Excursion 1 workshop with us, and it's been amazing. I joined in myself, and it's been a really great adventure because I haven't really meditated for properly and in months, and to be a constant sort of process and just listen to headphones and doing breathing exercises, meditation. Must have done about 12 sessions or something over the past weekend.
Yeah, even more.
Even more,
nearly,
yeah.
Nearly 14.
Yeah, I've lost count.
Yeah.
But it's been really good, and it's really got me back on track. So yeah, just if you want to just tell the people out there what Hemi-Sync is about and what you can offer here at Parsonage.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to offer people, it's somebody coming from Spain that can speak some English. And also I can offer a real clown to ridiculize the serious things of life. Because the first thing I think is that you should approach Hemi-Sync in a total relaxed, with no expectations. So that's why I always say that I am a clown. It's not that I don't take seriously my work, because I really take it very seriously, but I really act very seriously like a clown, because it's the only way to help people make real something in which I really believe totally. And it is that the only master, the real master, the one who has every answer to any question you can make him, it's living and sleeping, dreaming in your inside. So that's the first thing that I think I can offer. It's the sincerity, clarity, some English maybe in a very crazy way, but in any way I can do my very best as if I were from Liverpool, you see. But I studied English since I was very young. My mother taught me English when I was 5. I've been nearly 20 years without having any kind of practice, but I know London from the 70s, and I've been doing good things, nice things in London in all times. So I really love Britain. That's the first thing that brings me here.
Good, nice to have you here.
So yeah.
Tell us about your first journey on discovering Hemi-Sync, and if it's helped you in any way.
Well, my first journey with Hemi-Sync, it was really this thing I should say. The journey you can make in Hemi-Sync, it depends on what you put inside your journey, what you put in your bag to realize that journey. It's the level of consciousness or emotion or things that they're going to come to you. So my first journey with Hemi-Sync, I was really very desperated because I've always been living for art. I have dedicated all my life to music, to sound. I made some music for films like Brian Eno, who curiously was born on the 15th of May, like me myself. I was born the same day as Mike Oldfield.
Okay.
Just the same day. And I was very lucky in the 70s to listen to and assist to Brian Eno's concert with Robert Fripp. He was working with a Revoke 6, the 77 machine tape, old tape, with 2 speeds. And I had the same machine at home, so I always dedicated my life to sound. Then I was working, because I've always been very interested in the alchemy of sound. And I was working around different tuning, looking for strange things in sounds, analyzing chaos, doing strange things. And I spent many years doing some things that now they are more popular. I can see in the radio stations people saying, this is a real ambiental sculpture about the ambience you have in a subway, because the 21st century schizoid man is just blah blah. And then people, they explain their own stuff, and they really know how to sell something that I was working with 30 years ago. But in those times, and mainly even in Spain, I was like a zombie. It was a bit suffering for me. So I kept on searching and searching, and then I began to orient my work with sound related to healing. I spent many time working with crickets, changing the speed of the song of the cricket, trying to take out some healing things that could help me to get rid of the tinnitus, the tinnitus that I suffer from them because of an accident I had cutting wood in the woods in Spain many years ago. And then I found that I could do things with them, and I began a new process of looking to sound through healing. And then I was also involved in Reiki, with the Reiki stuff. I began doing Reiki in 1996. And in those moments, my teacher master, she was, now at this moment, she's the vice president of the Monroe Institute in Virginia, in the United States, where this technology comes from. You began asking me what is Hemi-Sync and what I could offer, and now people, the audience, may believe that first thing I am offered it's like a no-end tape. I'm like a loop, always talking.
Yeah, sure.
And I will talk without stop in every beginning, but as soon as the thing starts, I keep myself quiet, try to listen to the rest of the people, try to understand everybody, because I really believe that what you are going to get out is the answers that belong to your own masterships inside. But well, the thing is that I met Carol, she taught me Reiki, I was initiated in level 1, 2. I spent 10 years doing Reiki, and at the same time this search in the alchemy of sound through healing. And one day I felt that I had to go a bit farther, so I went into Reiki 3 with her. I looked for her again, and she convinced me that the most interesting thing she had done in her life with sound was Hemi-Sync. So that's how I began to look for this thing of Hemi-Sync. Although I had been playing a tape, only one tape from Hemi-Sync from 1996.
What tape was that?
That was this Leaping Through the Rain and Inner Journey.
Yeah, one
great
of my favorites.
Hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, great hits. And then, well, I went to do an introductory course. I bought myself some CDs, and I began to experience the Hemi-Sync technology by my own, but I was a bit disconnected, disoriented, more or less. I was a bit lost, because I think that it's very important the way you get into Hemi-Sync. To be conducted, directed, no, it's not the word that I like, because...
Waiting for the teacher.
Yeah, but the teacher is you yourself.
Yeah, of course.
The only thing I could teach you is that I am no teacher, although I may look like. And, well, I went into the Hemi-Sync thing, and that's why I first understood what Hemi-Sync is. Hemi-Sync is the abbreviation, we would say, about hemispheric synchronization. This is technology based in something we call the binaural beats. Is binaural, or would you say binaural beats?
It depends where you come from, isn't it? But yeah, binaural, yeah.
Yeah, I like very much this thing of English. I love England. yeah, sincerely. And although I may sometimes have problems to have the correct word in my language or in my talk, but I speak honestly from the deepest part of my heart. I have always been in this connection with Britain. Although I've been always a Beatle lover, I know every song of the Beatles, you know.
As we experienced this weekend.
I have lived very curious things in my life, because one of a very good friend I had, that has already passed to the other world.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I lived in the mountains in Spain, in the south of Spain, in a very, very wild and strange place. We were only 20 people in that place,
Wow.
and one of those people was Graham Palfrey Rogers. He was called Peter the Painter in the 60s in London. He was painting silk for the London Transport. He's a very famous painter in England, and one day Paul McCartney phoned him
Wow.
to be the artistic director of Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay.
And we became very close friends, and well, I always dreamt with him that someday we could come to Britain to do something interesting, no? And here I am doing it. So, changing the channel, I would say that Hemi-Sync is based in binaural beats. Binaural beat is something that I would like to explain in a few words. Our brain has got the capability of recognizing very, very slightly different tunings, okay? So if we put one tone in one ear, and the same tone, but plain flat tone, without any vibration, in the other ear, but slightly different tuned, I mean, for example, 100 hertz in one ear and 104 in the other one, then it results that the brain analyzes that difference of frequencies and starts to vibrate in the difference, which is 4 cycles per second. That means that listening to a tape, you can achieve very deep states of meditation just only in a question of minutes.
Instead of years, which some Tibetan monks have taken.
Well,
to
yeah,
produce.
that's the mythology around the thing.
It is, yeah.
But it's real truth. As everything in the world, every word has got 2 blades, you know. One is good and the other one is dangerous.
Polarities.
Yeah, that happens with the thing of the Hemi-Sync, because some monks, they say, well, if you get into this stuff just in a matter of minutes, then you are not a serious practitioner.
Sure.
And they look at you in a little despective way. But on the other hand, I'm only talking about something that is very popular. It's not popular because it's not yet well known, but it's very popular because it's very easy to achieve it and to have it with you and help you to grow in your personal path you may have to walk by in your life, you know. So that's why I cross over all these things they say, but yeah, some monks have tried it and they have been very surprised that people could reach really very, very deep states of meditation without the only effort is to be like a child. That's the difficult thing of Hemi-Sync.
Yeah, back to our source,
to be an adult and get into it like a child.
Yeah, definitely. No expectations, just seeing life as a playground, and just I suppose Hemi-Sync for me, I first discovered it from my father back in Reading, where I was brought up, and I suppose he introduced me to the Gateway Experience, a set of CDs that are tools for your sort of inner self to know more about you and your exploration of consciousness in your own being. And I suppose when I first listened to it, I must be about 13 or 14 at the time, and I listened to it and I thought, what's this about? There's not really rocky music, you know, as you do. And I put it to one side, and I kept listening to it on and off, and I knew about the Hemi-Sync process, but it wasn't until I moved here, and a year before I moved here, and I was like, wow, yeah, this stuff really, really works. And it's helped me in the process as well. I was very dyslexic many years ago, and since listening to it, as well as doing martial arts and I suppose Reiki and my own path in spirituality, it's really sort of just eliminated that from me. I suppose it's still a bit of an essence of dyslexia, but nowhere as strong as it used to be. And I probably talk of many few out there who've probably gone through the same experience, but Hemi-Sync, from what I've heard from many stories, have helped many different people's lives, to help them through accelerated learning, memory loss, concentration. This ranges from everything. because that's what Hemi-Sync does. It's not just a meditation tool. It's more than that. It's tools for you, for helping your daily life, and over here in England, as well as probably some other countries, that technology just isn't understood over here. They see the word, or Hemi-Sync, and they say, I don't know what that is. It can't be explained in just one word. It's more than that. And if people just take a bit of time just to sort of just listen and just even read a little bit on it, and even try a CD themselves, and just practice with it a few times a week, they'll probably be surprised at how far that will take them.
Yeah, but in any way, I would say sometimes people they look at this without confidence.
Exactly.
I mean, in this time we are living, it's very easy to go to the people and say, hey, why don't you give it a try? But that's the same you would say with a fix of heroin,
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you give it a try, boy? And then that's why some people, they really don't get involved. And I really don't want to orientate this thing in that way. You should never give a try of Hemi-Sync before understanding what's Hemi-Sync for, what can you receive from it, and how it really works. And I could explain to you in some minutes if you want.
Yeah,
if we still have time in this beautiful radio program, I think the microphone is totally open.
Go for it.
And the first one who really knew what was going on with the binaural beats was a violinist called Tartini. Tartini was a very famous violinist of the 18th century, and he discovered this thing that when two sounds slightly different one from another, but very slightly, without doing anything with stereo nor headphones nor anything, just only playing those sounds at the same time in a room, they could make a beat in the air. So he could play the violin, approaching those sounds, making the game just only with the strings and without moving the fingers. He would do something like wah 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 in the air. So the people were really very surprised about this thing, and it's called the beat of Tartini. It's the first one to discover this is the violinist Tartini, a musician, of course, because should be a musician the one who approaches you, who gets you near and approaches sound to you to help you to recognize something that is very important. We live in in a world full of images, very majestic, I would say. Well, I don't know the exact word. Be sure that although I'm Spanish and I can't speak a good English, but I really will get understood, because if not, I will really make any kind of theater, so you will finally understand what I mean. The thing is that we live in a world of images, and I think that sound, if one image is worth 100 words, one sound is worth 1,000,000 images. I know that because I've been working with sound, and I've spent a lot of time modifying sounds. I remember when my first daughter was born. Now she's 25, and I recorded her just drinking the milk of her mother's breast, and the sound she made. If you get it lower and lower, half speed in my beautiful Revox that I said in the beginning, maybe 10 minutes or 15 ago, and you put it lower, and you go on down with the speed, then it sounds like a lion.
Wow.
The sound is the same like a lion. And I have also worked out with the sound of the cricket, and the cricket, when you are in level 6, that's what I call 6 times going down half speed, it sounds like this.
Yeah.
And one day I lived an earthquake, a very little earthquake in Spain, and the sound was exactly the sound of the earthquake, the same sound as the cricket. The only difference was that the power of the cricket is done by the electronic technology and the amplifiers, and the other thing was the whole earth vibrating, but it was in the same frequency, the same feeling. So I think sound is really very powerful. And then after Tartini, 100 years later, became a man, a German one, called Henry William Dove, and he began to investigate the thing of putting that sound in your ears, and then he discovered that the same beat that was produced in the air in the room where the Tartini was playing could be heard in your own brain, in your own ears. So you were listening to the different sounds, and you could hear the beat in your inside. And then he said something like, we build that sound in the brain, but he didn't give it any, he was not very interested in that. It was only that he discovered that our brain was really inventing that beat, just only to understand that difference. It had to pass 100 years more, and then here is where Bob Monroe appears, and a man called Gerald Oster, an American one, and they discovered that this beat was really affecting the brain. So the thing is that when you put one sound in one ear and a different, slightly different one in the other ear, they both get mixed in the middle of your brain in a place called the nuclear olivay, and in this place you begin to hear a beat, pop, 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 and when you are hearing that, that means that the brain is vibrating both hemispheres at the same time, in the same frequency, in the same level. We would say frequency, time, and it was, well, one of the other parameters of frequency, which is mainly it's the same frequency and the same the level. I don't know in this moment the word in English, but that's the thing, no? But this man Oster, he discovered that, and he thought it was a part of the brain. And Bob Monroe from the Monroe Institute, the one who founded TMI, the Monroe Institute, from where I'm an outreach accredited facilitator that may take this technology out to the people to teach them how it works. He discovered that it was the whole brain vibrating at the same time. That means something like the most incredible situations of health you can give to your brain. That's what we have in the beginning when we do the Hemi-Sync stuff. Healthy brains.
Definitely, because we don't always use our whole brain, do we? But with this technology, we're actually focusing on the whole brain.
Yes.
Using our full potential with it.
Yeah, and always in our lives we are mainly using a bit more from the left one and then another moment from the right one, but both at the same time in the same frequency. It's a real good feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
And it gives you the opportunity of getting into different states of awareness.
Sure.
At this moment, what I'm presenting here in the UK, it's something called the Excursion 1, which is the introductory course to Hemi-Sync. And here we learn two simple things. And it is, the first one, we learn how to put the body asleep while we are totally awake. Something that we normally don't believe it may happen. When we are totally awake, we can't conceive that we can be sleeping, and when we are sleeping, we can't conceive that we are conscious, except in case that we were doing lucid dreaming, but not as a conscious thing, no?
Yeah.
And this is something that, our education has made us believe that things must be in that way, and it's not true. If we say that we can control the sounds we put in one ear, we can put because Hemi-Sync, it's a cocktail of sounds. It's got many sounds, so we can put some frequency, for example 100 and 104 in the other one. We have 4 hertz, that's the frequency. We would say it's delta, and we would say that's deep sleep, but at the same time I would do something like 200 and 230, and then I would have gamma at the same time, and then as you are asleep, at the same time you are awake. So you relax totally, your body is completely relaxed, but you are totally conscious. And I don't know if to make this show I should put myself a bit apart from the microphone, but you can be snoring like a beast, snoring like this, and be conscious at the same time.
Yeah,
that's an incredible feeling, because it gives you the opportunity of understanding that that state, which is called the hypnagogic state, the first step to jump to your dreams, to jump to... It's like the platform to start getting in touch with your inner self, no? That's the wisdom I was recalling in the beginning when I began to speak. I am not a master. I am only a musician that may help you to believe in yourself.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. It's really nice to hear your thoughts and your experiences and where you come from.
Thank you.
I suppose my side has always been music. It's always been a real desire and pleasure to listen to music all the time and to take me to different states, and not just Hemi-Sync, but just any sounds and sounds I make. I do a lot of harmonics and overtones. I suppose a real big influence and idol of mine that I look up to is a guy called Jonathan Goldman, which I'm sure you've heard of. And one of his sort of philosophies or sort of quotations, whatever it's called, is frequency plus intent equals healing. And I suppose the same goes with the Hemi-Sync, is that the frequencies are there, but it's also your intent. You got your willpower and where you want to be heading with this technology to take you where you want to go, and what your body, mind, and spirit want to achieve from that, I suppose. And really, it's my purpose here, I suppose, at the retreat is to really get people to understand what the Hemi-Sync process is about, show them the door, and if they're interested, we'd love to, see them take part. But, when people are ready, obviously. Yeah.
Well, I think that everybody is ready for this moment.
Yeah, sure.
I think the moment has come. Bob Monroe, the one who discovered this, he dedicated all his life to this work, and at the end, he only wanted to get it out there, to try to help people to approach to this very simple thing I'm talking about. And in the simplicity, we can first feel that we all are the same. We all belong to the same source. And in the basics is where we can easily recognize that we all like to eat when we are hungry and to sleep when we are tired.
Of course.
And we feel really very good when we have our brain synchronized in the most elementary form, which is this stage I'm talking about, no? When we come to do the excursion, we learn to put the body asleep and the mind awake. And that's the first thing. And after that, we will learn to expand that awareness, that it's something like you get in a point you're totally relaxed, you disconnect your awareness from the body, then you feel like in a very intimate situation with your own self. And then we get into a different vibration, brain vibration, that opens much more the parapsychological senses in some way, the clairaudience, the visions, the perceptions, the intuition, this kind of stuff that we all have intuition, but we never are confident with our intuitions. And the thing that we are going to learn here is to feel so comfortable with this stuff that we are going to align much easier our thoughts with our feelings, and that at the end it's a result of a more coherent actions. So the alignment of thoughts, feelings and actions for me means personal growth, matureness and this thing, no? And that's the only thing we can learn in the only thing we can learn in. But we need a very difficult thing to start the experience going on, and it's to allow yourself to play like a child.
Exactly.
That's the main problem in our society.
Everyone's serious.
To abandon yourself just to enjoy a weekend. I'm sure you will laugh a lot meeting me, because I can be funny when I want.
Definitely.
And every time I find people that they are interested in this, I give myself. That's
Good.
The real truth. I totally give myself. I can honestly say that. And I give myself from the real bottom of my heart. I love very much this thing that I'm working with, and I believe that it's very simple. My family, my kids, and everybody around me has been trained in Hemi-Sync. That for sure. Students, it's elementary, my dear Watson. They should. Artists, people related to creativity, of course. Spiritual people, how not? It's so important. It's the power of meditation.
Definitely.
This is the power of meditation. And we are not going to discuss here all the good things of meditation, just checking the internet.
I suppose the good thing about coming to do these courses and the Excursion 1 and all the other courses that you're going to lead here is that people come together as a group, as what I've termed. I know there's a series on Hemi-Sync called Network of Light, but I like to use that term in sort of the group that people come together, say up to 12 people or something. There is a sort of network link of consciousness that when people come together in these workshops, link themselves with their headphones and listen to the same audio, but go in their own experiences also, you build this amazing energy with the group and this great bond, and you go away to your bed or check unit if it's available, and you just plug yourself in the headphones and just lock yourself away and just away from everyone and just focus on your own self, your own energy. But people do that as a whole, as a group, come back together in sort of, say, the lounge area and just express and how you're feeling and just guide people. I think that's amazing. But also that the whole Hemi-Sync process, the workshops, is not any sort of dogma based. It's no religious. It's not telling you what you will expect, and no expectations, what you will experience. It's about what you are going to experience yourself, isn't it? And that's amazing in itself, is that people just, you yourself as a facilitator, show them the door, the way, and it's up to them how much intent they use with the frequency to create the healing in themselves. And I've experienced that myself, because I've been very busy here at the retreat, very busy, and for months, and it's only recently that things have quieted down a little bit, and now I'm sort of just going in the flow of my own path again. And so coming to the workshop has really helped me a lot, so thank you very much.
No, thank you to you that thank you to you that you express with sincerity what you got inside,
because it has been hard, because it's like, I suppose when you work in and live in the same atmosphere, your mind is always wondering where things are. I need to be doing this, I need to be that, the monkey mind, as we've all heard. But I suppose when you get that routine, it's hard to get out. So when you're put into a place where you need to be getting into your own vibration, your own routines, that's when things change and really unlock. And sometimes it's just really going past these barriers that you may have, and just going flawless through it, and just pushing, and just, if it feels like uncomfortable at any point, like, oh, I've had enough of this, it's like, no, you haven't. It's just going past those barriers. And I think Hemi-Sync can do that for everything. Whatever you're trying to do, it's a learning tool. It's not something that you have to have for the rest of your life. It's something that can guide you.
The basic principle of the workshop, it is to experience these brain vibrations. We are going to put them like in a technological way. We are going to put one vibration which is called Focus 10, and we are going to put in your brain another vibration which is called Focus 12. And we are going to let you experience your feelings, and we are going to allow you to express those feelings, and you are going to express those feelings to the group, so that you will help others to recognize their own feelings, so everybody is going to recognize how they feel in that state. I will never tell anybody how Hemi-Sync works, really, because I really don't know. I can tell you how it worked for me. I could feel in some way or whatever. I felt like this, like blah blah, but finally, every time I was there, I could recognize that something was changing in my brain, and I could recognize that those were my feelings with Hemi-Sync. Once you recognize your own feelings, then you and your brain become friends, because we are not always good friends with our brains, because we have no confidence in our brain, because our brain knows everything, and everything that our brain heard in his life is recorded there. We don't believe that the brain is so powerful, but once we are confident with the brain and we tell him, in reality it's him allowing us to tell ourselves, hey, this is the feeling I have when this guy that is putting here the tapes he calls Focus 10. I don't know what's that, but I feel very relaxed. I don't feel my body. I can feel in total calm. I feel like if I were in the greatest meditation I did in my life, and this guy calls it Focus 10. Okay, brain, every time after this workshop happens, every time I tell you to go to Focus 10, you go to this same state, okay, because I like it very much. And then your brain feels something like, oh, good guy, this is finally connecting with himself. And the same happens with the other vibration, with Focus 12, sorry. So the only thing is that you recognize your own feelings and you get in touch with the whole group, and I will, as a facilitator, help you. I don't care if you speak too much. I will try to make you speak a bit less, to leave others express themselves. But I tell you honestly, I think we have a lot of time. Everybody has expressed everything they wanted to.
Yeah, definitely.
And if somebody is a bit shy and has got difficulties to express, I would dedicate my whole work to that person, so that she or he will finally express what has got inside, but in a very free way, not obliging anybody to do anything, just only to feel confident and to feel that anything you put out is going to be taken seriously. Because if you think that you are crazy, I am much more than crazy than you. You know what I mean? I am much more than crazy. I'm absolutely crazy because I believe in something that it's really craziness, and that's freedom. The only thing I believe is in freedom.
Thank you.
And I think that Hemi-Sync may help you to be free.
Definitely. So is there anything else you'd like to just add, just for the final closing of this small interview?
No, just to thank you for this feeling, this lovely... I like very much what we are living here, in a great atmosphere. With I feel that everybody that comes here and lives this experience feels finally very satisfied always.
Good.
And I liked very much to be here with you, Rich.
Same with you.
Honestly, yeah, it's been a pleasure.
So just any contact information, if you've got like a website, just do you want to say what that is?
Yeah, my website is www.reikipark.com.
Brilliant. Okay, well, nice to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
And we'll just leave you just a couple of seconds of a little bit of music that you've probably been hearing behind the track, called Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
By Hemi-Sync's Meta Music.
Beautiful.